He's a tactical genius, he's the one to see on VP4TV. He's wild and he's free. Eyeball top over here to you and me. With his cunning moves, he's rocking endlessly. Tables and cues, they bend to his will. Every shot he takes gives everyone a thrill. With a glance and aim, he works to the skill. In the ball, legend from the Jill. Tables and cues, they bend to his will. Every shot he takes gives everyone a thrill. With a glance and aim, he works to the skill. In the ball, legend from the Jill. Tactical genius with every play, making magic happen every single day. In the world of billiards, he knows the way, taking every shot with prayers we say. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. From the corner bank to the perfect cut, he wins the game without a single strut. Chalk it up, just for fortune or luck. But skill like his, it never gets stuck. On VP4TV, he's the showstopper. 9ball.com's the king, no one can top her. Watch him play and you'll be a hopper. He's the man we all shout proper. Magic happen every single day. In the world of billiards, he knows the way, taking every shot with prayers we say. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. To the perfect cup, he wins the game without a single strut. Chalk it up, just for fortune or luck. But skill like his, it never gets stuck. On VP4TV, he's the showstopper. 9ball.com's the king, no one can top her. Watch him play and you'll be a hopper. He's the man we all shout proper.
ATG from Kilmarnock town, got your hustle down. Streams the pool games live, makes our day come alive. Early mornings on your grind, Tesco shift unwind, but you find the time to play, stream the virtual day. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand.
And it's a sucker scratch. Look at the line. Commentator's eye. Don't say I didn't warn you.
OTG tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand. Amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Early riser, work all done. Streams of games just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. Oh, TG, tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. TG, tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
This for the 101. Absolutely sensational once again.
Virtual cue in your hand. Amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Early riser, work all done. Streams of games just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. Oh, TG, tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
That was fantastic.
He's a tactical genius, he's the one to see on VP4TV. He's wild and he's free. Highball top number here to you and me.
Where's the cue ball going?
Oh dear, how sad, never mind.
Right, good evening. Welcome back to VP4TV. We're here for Friday Night 9-Ball. The interesting thing is that Coldest Pillow is last week's champion, and he's nowhere to be seen. So he's obviously out in the town. He's got exactly 2 minutes to get himself in to defend his title, or he's probably handing over the crown to Spectre Dawn again by the looks of it. So I think there's about the same amount of people signed up as there was last Friday. I think it was about 8, and that's what it's came down to. Let's have a quick look and a quick refresh. How many we got? That's exactly it. We've got half the field, and I think that'll be about it. We've got Bankster, Chris, Howie Wowie, Larry, Lochstar, who I think I've seen the name, but I don't think I've seen him in this tournament. Miasma, Spectrodon, Stepan, and Tam, who said he was going to play tonight. Although, again, I don't see him either. Well, we might have 8 in, but we might not have 8 show up. But anyway, it looks as if there's just myself and somebody else watching this. So that's what Friday night 9 ball has come down to. The interest, I think, is waning. And this is proof, if you need it, that time for a change, I think. I really do. I think it's time for a change. Slim looks as if he's not going to make it. And of course, the other thing I think to remember is that there is a time zone change. I think the states' clocks have all gone forward. I could be wrong in that matter, but I think from the conversations I heard the other day that I think the United States clocks have already gone forward, which is at least a couple of weeks before we do in this part of the world. I think it's the 30th of March. The clocks will go forward to British summertime, which obviously that there's that sort of change around period when the clocks going forward sort of crosses over one another. The United States are a bit ahead of us, so the hours have changed for them, and that could obviously be an inconvenience in terms of getting to the start of this tournament in time. So, they might be settling down for dinner or whatever. But anyway, we have got the tournament has been drawn, and unless Tam's going to show up at the last minute, he's probably forgotten that he signed up. So we've got Bankster, Chris, in fact, Spectre, Don, and Tam. Well, that's probably another reason why he's not showing up. Looking at the draw. But anyway, Howie Wowie is playing Larry, and Howie Wowie is in the room. And surprise, surprise, Larry is nowhere to be seen either. And Tam is there, so Tam's going to be getting a decent handicap against Spectre Dawn. But I hope for Larry's sake that he hasn't mixed up the times, because that could be one reason for confusion, that we're still on our time, and it's a bit surprising that Larry isn't here, because he signed up about an hour ago, and I just hope he's paying attention. Anyway, so the rooms are up, and it's Spectre Dawn's already in the room. Tam's he's thinking about it now that he's looked to see who he's actually playing. So at the moment there are 2 matches underway, Lochstar and Miasma, and we're waiting on Tam getting in, and we're waiting on Larry showing up, if he's going to appear. That'll be weird. I don't think there's many tournaments that Larry signs up to where he doesn't actually show up, unless there's an emergency of some description. Anyway, we will see. So I think, without further ado, we might as well have some pool. We'll go in and we'll watch this match with Bankster and Chris, if we can get into the room. And Bankster is giving Chris 7 and out. Let's see whether Chris is going to be good enough. Well, like I said, Larry signed up about an hour ago. Now, obviously, if the clocks have gone forward in the States, then that would. In fact, there's Larry now. He's finally showed up. If the clocks have gone forward, then they're only 4 hours behind us on East Coast. In New York, they're only 4 hours behind us now, until eventually our clocks go forward, and then it'll go back to the normal 5 hours. So Chris has had a good start and looks as if he could well make the use of this 7 and out. Well, the evidence, as I said, from not just the last few weeks, but the last number of months through the winter time and into spring, Friday night 9-ball has been dying a death. So it needs changed up one way or another. The interest in the tournament is waning fast. So I think me leaving the door open for Slim whenever he's around, because he's not going to be around all the time because of the time that this thing starts. I've overstayed my welcome as far as staying up late when I really shouldn't be. And I think that if he can get here as often as he can, then there still will be some form of live stream and commentary on it, which is good. And the door is open to anybody else who fancies doing it. And I said the other day there's no reason why you can't. It's easy enough once you get the hang of things. And it doesn't cost you anything, because there's free software there that you can do it with. Now, how's the angle in this 7-ball? It's actually perfect. He's got to watch, though, the line that this cue ball's taken. Yeah, because he's spinning down to the short side. So, get the cut in the 8-ball, you're on the 9, that's a guarantee. Welcome to Cobra, good evening. And the other thing, in fact, I should have came on a wee bit earlier. In fact, I did come on a wee bit earlier, but I had some sort of technical issue. I don't know what the hell happened there. I think there was something running in the background at the time. There was maybe some sort of scan going on, I don't know what, but the PC resources were getting eaten up big time. And I had to cancel the false start that I had earlier on. What was I going to say? Right, so we have, while these two guys are sort of warming up, it's now one apiece. Let me just go to the internal browser. And for those who are watching, the Straight Pool World Championships have officially started. They're now up and running. But this is the more important one for tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow, Sunday. And what I didn't realise is this clashes with the Old Firm game. I finish work at 12:30 on Sunday afternoon, and that game kicks off at 12:30. So when I'm coming home in the car, I'll be listening to a chunk of the first half of the game. When I get home, I have to get something to eat, and the match will still be going on while this 10-ball on the 10-footer final is going to take place at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'll be there for that, but it'll probably a last minute show up for it. I won't be here like plenty of time for it. I'll probably just here at the last minute because I want to see the football. That's one thing that we have. Once we get that tournament done and dusted, We've then got, I think Interchange X, as a matter of fact, is set up with Bedhead the last time I checked the schedule on the Straight Pool World Championship. So if we look at that one, there still is only one match on the schedule. Now, I don't know if any matches have already been played because I haven't really paid that much attention. I've only looked at the schedule. And we have the match with Bedhead and Interchange X. Now, that's set for Tuesday evening of next week. And Tuesday evening at 11 p.m, which is obviously more convenient for Interchange X, being as there's a big time zone difference between him and Bedhead. But as it's Tuesday evening, I can get it. However, if I see Slim between now and then, and Slim's going to be available, his time zone, then I'm perfectly happy for him to do it, because it's still, even though it's 11 o'clock and I don't have work the next day, it's still late for me. So Bedhead Interchange X is a match to look forward to. And meanwhile, Bankster has found himself in the lead, given 7 and out to Chris. And Chris has got to be clever with that. Like, for example, here, I mean, going all out for the pot. Oh, he might get lucky here. He might get lucky. Now, what I need to do is, just give me a second, I'm just going to tab to check this replay thing. Hold on a minute. I will be back with you in a second. Don't go away. I can get this bloody thing to work. Hold on. Right, we are back. So we can do a quick test and replay in a second or two. See if that's working. And I don't think we've really missed a lot. Well, Bankster just needs to drop the 4 in dead weight, which I think he can do easily enough and still have a shot in the 5. Doesn't want to go really well. Straight will do. He can just kill it stone dead. Usual. Just make it simple. 9 ball into the side. Now, I'm going to say this about the... I don't know whether any of you saw that Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid game. And I'm surprised there's not really... I've not really seen a lot of... I've not seen a lot of media people and commentators having a similar opinion to me, because there's not really been a lot said, but I watched that game, and then of course it went to penalties, and in all my years of watching football, which would be 50 odd years, I have seen plenty of penalty shootouts. I've seen plenty of penalties that have been taken, and the goalkeepers maybe saved the penalty, but the referee has decided the penalty needs retaken because the goalkeeper was off his line before the ball was struck. I've seen plenty of that going on. Now, what puzzled me? Well, that's the thing. What puzzled me was the fact that in either way, in my opinion here, there is a breach of the rules, right? So the first example, with the most common example, is the one that I've just said. the breach of rule is that the goalkeeper is off his line and the player has to retake the penalty, regardless of whether he scored it or not. If he misses, I'll start again. If the goalkeeper saves the penalty, there's the only instance of where, if the goalkeeper's moved off the line, the referee will then call it as a retake. Now, obviously, if the player scores a goal, it's not worth the referee's time saying you have to retake it because the goalkeeper was off his line. It ended up in a goal anyway. But the second instance, the bit that puzzled me was, first of all, nobody in the crowd knew what had happened. And the VAR thing that they had, they experimented in, I can't remember where they experimented. What was it? Was it the FA Cup, or was it something where the referee actually explains to the crowd what's happened? Nobody knew what had happened. But why? The question I'm asking is, if VAR intervened and they said that the player kicked the ball twice. Now, you've seen that happen. I think probably one of the most recognised ones was David Beckham, I think, where he went to take a penalty. I think it was for England, was it? And he slipped. And the turf gave way and he slipped. Now, this player, something similar happened. He slipped, but he inadvertently touched the ball and then he hit the ball, and it went into the net and it stood as a goal until VAR intervened. Now, my question is why wasn't that player allowed to retake the penalty? That's my question. Why wasn't he forced to retake the penalty because it was illegal? That's my question. Because the instance with the goalkeeper moving in the line is illegal, and yet the player gets to take the penalty again. And so in all my years, I've never seen a penalty being chalked off or a goal being chalked off from a penalty with that happening. Never. Never at all. I think it was grossly unfair, to be honest with you. And if I had been in the Atletico Madrid's boardroom, I'd be rather annoyed about it. That's all I'm saying. So it looks like Chris has had his good start, but Bankster's taking control here, because 7 and out is dangerous against most players. That the same old rule applies. If the opponent who's getting 7 and out doesn't get many chances, then he missed the penalty from the what? He missed the penalty from the first contact. Well, that's called. It's a very strict interpretation of the rules, though, isn't it? Why wasn't he allowed to retake it? That's my question. That's what I'd be asking him. If it was a foul penalty, why wasn't he forced to retake it and take it in the proper manner? As is a goalkeeper asked to stay in the line in the proper manner until the ball is kicked. Anyway, Bankster now with a 5-1 lead. And that looks dry. Let me have a quick tab to the bracket. And obviously with just being 8 players in again, it's going to be a short night. VP Monster signed up at the last minute. Did he turn up? Am I in the right bloody tournament here? What the hell? No, I'm not even looking at Friday Night 9, but I'm looking at the 10-ball bloody thing. What an umpty that is, I'm thinking. Where are we? Calendar. Right, that's better. No, that's not the one we want. What time of day is it here? 7 o'clock. There we go. Thank God for that. I was getting confused. And that's another reason for giving up doing this, the confusion. Well, Tam's getting the 8 ball, and he's 2-1 in front against Spectre on at the moment. I think that's the only first round match that's on. I think all the rest of them are by. So we must have had 9 in at the end of it. Is that not right? We must have had 9 in if we've got one first round match, or am I just totally confused? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Bankster, Howie Wowie is 2-0 up against Larry. And according to that, why he's not getting a handicap, Howie Wowie, and 2-0 up, and Lochstar's 2-1 up against Miasma. Right. Well, good evening to Slim. Oh, this will be my last Friday night 9 ball for a long while, Slim. Well, Bankster on, or just about to be on the hill. So you, am I right in saying that your clocks have gone forward, Slim? You've already gone forward to summertime or daylight savings time or whatever the hell you guys call it over there. Well, we don't go forward until the end of March. Well, that's even more trouble for Bankster. I think he's got himself hampered by this 7 ball. And of course, poor old Chris has got more than a problem, even if he does pot the 4. I think he should just be nipping and try and use that line of the 8 and the 7 ball here, but he's gone all out for the pot, and he's done all the hard work. You see, there's a fatal mistake that players do. He's made Bankster's life a lot easier by breaking out that 5 and 6 ball. See, you've got to play within your limitations. If you're 6-1 down and you're trying to be a hero, it's going to end up in disaster. Okay, he didn't leave Bankster anything all that easy, but Bankster's used some common sense. And I think Chris wants out of here quick. And I don't know what the hell Bankster's up to. He should be getting this done and dusted and getting it over with instead of faffing around. I don't know whether he can get to that 5 ball. I think he can. Well, he didn't even give it a second look, but I think he could get to that 5. And he's just prolonging the agony here for Chris. Well, this should be it now, so I think the safest route is to nip back up the table here. And that'll do. 8 ball looks a bit tight though. That's frozen, that 8 ball. Well, that's why a frozen ball in the rail like that is not a guaranteed certainty. And my nose has started to itch again. Well, did Matt say he was ever thinking of doing some live streaming? I'll believe that when I see it. Well, I've got one more day tomorrow of my week off, and then back to work on a Sunday morning. Back to the grind. And then my next week off, or my first week's holiday of the 2025 financial year, will be middle of April onwards, I think it is, because it gets me the first week of the World Championships. World Snooker, that is. I don't know whether any of you guys have seen that video, but I posted the link to it in the lobby during the week about Killer, and it's a guy who's got a channel where it's his group of guys, all his mates that are playing pool, and it was 10 of them all playing a game of Killer 8-ball pool, and it was really enjoyable. I watched the whole video, and it got funny at the end. So it did. There was 10 guys in it, and some of them were of a better level than the others. So they had 3 lives at the start of the match, and the numpties, all the rest of them, all get 5 lives. And it's a very simple game. You just everybody gets a turn at the table. You all follow in order, and if you don't pot a ball, you lose a life. Simple as that. If you pot the 8-ball, you gain a life. So the objective is to be last man standing. And it was actually, well, 10 of them were playing. It must have lasted over 40 minutes for the whole match until they were all eliminated. And it's well worth a watch. And why that game is still not in VP4, I don't know, because I think it's hilarious. There's some of the antics that people would get up to if you had 10 people in a room playing Killer, being nasty buggers to one another. And you could put, well, there's a big mistake by Bankster. You could put, you have a pot, and you have your entry fee is, say, like even just something like $50 to get your entry, and then the winner gets the pot, something like that. And so, if you had something similar like that in VP4, you could have, again, those of a lower rating would get more lives than the proper sharks in the game. They would get less lives. But I think we really should have it. Well, Bankster has been doing a wee bit of faffing about here, and Chris has managed to get a couple more racks on the board. And like I said, if you don't become clinical at this game, you end up looking a fool. Bankster's had a very comfortable lead. He's had plenty of opportunities to put this to bed. And this is as good as any to get this done and dusted. But the more you mess about, the more it's going to backfire on you. Well, he's got a very slight angle. He doesn't want to hit this soft. Well, he is hitting it soft. In fact, he's hitting it soft to make sure he doesn't go near or behind the 9-ball. Because he could have went forward to get back up closer to the 8, but well, this should finally seal the deal here and get this done. So Bankster looks like the first man through to the third round, I think. I think that was a second round match, wasn't it? Right, so, well, Tam, I think, had a good start. He was 2-0 up when we checked, I think, unless I read it wrong. Or 2-1 up, but he's now 6-3 behind, so it looks like Spectre Dawn on the hill. Let's have a quick look, see if we can jinx him. Maybe that's it all over. We're not going to get into the room. Oh, there we go. Well, it is all over. Spectre Dawn. We'll get this done. This new game that has been talked about, Inzoy, which is a bit like The Sims. I was watching a video of that today. A guy, I mean, he was building his own house, he had his own plot of land. It looks bloody. It looks as if he's into very intricate detail. This game. It is just a bit. It's a very similar thing to The Sims. I sat and watched that for half an hour and fell asleep in the middle of it. Anyway, Spectre Dawn is through. That game gets released at the end of the month, I think it does. So that, well, in fact, let me just do a refresh on that and get that set. Right, so now we have Howie Wowie 3-2 in front against Larry. We've got Lochstar 4-2 up against Miasma. So let's go into this Howie Wowie Larry match. Larry at the table, trailing 3-2. Now he's got a bank in the 8, he's going to bump the 9. If he doesn't hit this 9 too hard, it's going in the right direction. Well, is he playing the bank? No, he's not. He's playing the cut. Now he needs a 9 ball to stay in play, and it's going to be awkward. I'm surprised he didn't go for the bank, but I think he would certainly have been hitting the 9, definitely, either way. But you need that bit of luck for the 9 ball to stay in play, and that was a good out at the end there to square the match. 3 apiece. And 4 ball is going to get bumped in by the 9. 1 ball will certainly bank. And 2 ball is at the right end of the table where the cue ball wants to go. Well, where's the cue ball going to end up? Oh, well, this is just, I mean, a dead weight roll, and you will finish in the short side of the 2. You've got to dead weight it though, because this cue ball just wants to run away behind this 2 ball, I think, with the angle it's got. So even that was too hard. Had to be softer than that. He had to leave the 2 ball like there. He had to hit that a lot softer. I mean, he's still got a cut. Cue ball's running all over the place though. No idea where this is finishing. And, well, at least it didn't finish in the hole. And he's got, again, a dodgy cut here. In fact, he's actually hooked. He is well and truly hooked. Right, well, I think now's time for a replay test. I think oh, there he is. I thought he'd fallen asleep. Well, oh, hang on a minute, this is going in. This is worth a replay. Watch this. Well, the replay's definitely working. Well, he's not got much room, but that 5 ball will go. Not much room at all, but it will go. Yeah, well, he's trying to duck, and that's not very good. He'd have been better off going for the pot, to be honest with you. Or did you just hit that so bad there that he missed it by a country mile? I'm not sure what he played, but anyway, Larry has his chance to get himself into the lead. Oh, are you still there, Slim? No, I think Slim's lost the will to live. I think he's gone. Meanwhile, Larry completing the formalities in rack number 7. I don't know if that's him getting himself in front for the first time, but it's where he wants to be. Well, don't give up yet, Tam. There's only 8 people, or maybe 9 people in it. You've still got a chance, especially in that one-loss side, races to 4. That match with Bedhead and Interchange X, are you going to be around for it, that straight pool, the first match in the schedule in the straight pool? Because it's 11 o'clock at night my time, even though I'm off the next day. And if you're available, Slim, by all means, fire in on Tuesday. Well, it'll be obviously Tuesday, sort of early evening your time. If it's 11 o'clock my time, that would be like, 6? It'll be 6 or 7 o'clock your time, I would imagine. Bear in mind that you're only you're 1 hour less behind us than you normally are. Well, this is not going to finish all that great, the 6. Can he hit this plain ball? Let me have a look. I think this is going to be tight in the corner if he's hitting it plain ball. It's going to be tight in the corner to come back down for the 7. Yeah, it's a bit ropey looking. Is he giving this the old heave-ho? No, he is just, yeah, well, he tried to spin it off the 2-3 rails to come out. That was really, really tough. That was not an easy shot. Well, the only thing I'm asking is if you're around, Slim, and you're doing nothing, feel free to have a go at it. It's more suitable for your time zone than it is for mine. Right, that's fine. As long as I know you're happy doing it, that's fine with me. Well, Larry's got himself in trouble. I'll see if I can stay awake to watch it. Oh, this is... Well, you've got to go up and down for this, haven't you? Can you really blast that and thin it in? I'd be going up and down. I'd be going up and down with this. This is far too tight to the rail. Well, he's got it. He's got better eyes than I have. Much better eyes. So, Larry got himself in trouble. Howie Wowie has taken a chance. Squares the match. Six ball was thinking about it, but the table is wide open. Now, he's got to be careful with this because he doesn't want the one ball to follow the six in. And this is tricky as well. Well, if he just plays it simple and just stuns up the table so he can see the two, that's at least good enough. He might just have to go forward and come out and leave the cut. Well, in fact, he could hold it, so that's fine. Now, as long as he can get through the gap, miss the 7, and come down here, he's missed the 7. This is going to be sitting pretty good on the 4. Well, that nudge in the 8 ball, I don't think has done him any harm because that's actually set that up as a pretty much dead set combo. The 9's going in off the jaw. In fact, it's not even getting in off the jaw. That's perfect. Oh, by the way, that's another thing, Slim. I was actually in the middle of making my... Watch this cue ball. I was in the middle of making my my own little video of my sensational shot in the 9-ball Scottish doubles, and by the time I come back into the lobby and had a look, I saw that you had made the clip on your channel. For some reason, mine doesn't have the volume of the balls. I don't know what the hell happened there. There's no sound of the balls getting hit, which is weird. Well, Larry back in the lead. Balls flying in, and a dodgy shot in the 1. And obviously, whoever gets this 1 ball has got to be odds-on favourite getting out. This table is perfect for that. Lochstar has taken out Miasma by 7 racks to 2. No, I'm talking about when I made my I replayed the final and got to the point where I played my sensational shot and recorded it. I was recording it using Bandicam. I think it must be bugged because there's no game audio. I don't know what the hell happened. Anyway, and then I noticed it, and I saw your link posted in the lobby after I got back into the lobby. Well, Howie Wowie looking to square this match back up. He's just got to be careful he doesn't mess around with the side pocket here, coming across table. He wants to really go right up the table and keep it really safe. Well, in trying to do that, he's forgot about the 7 ball, and that's a big boo-boo. Well, when you say lucky, I think the lucky part was that I hit it so hard that I hit the rail and the cue ball bounced 3 feet in the air. The bit that wasn't so lucky was the fact that the 7 ball was sitting where it was and made the pocket so big that if I got the hit on the ball and started it running up and down the table, I might get lucky enough to get a line where it does go to the rail and use that 7 ball for a big pocket. It was still sensational. Cobra just won't admit it. Anyway, Larry on the hill, and I think, what did he get? 7 ball there, playing the push out. Well, if I'm Howie Wowie, I can get all of this 1 ball. I'm burying Larry here right now, because that's not a great push out. He's got the 5, the 4, the 6 to hide behind here if he plays this right. And he's got to avoid the bump on the 8 ball. Well, he's bumped the 8 ball, but that'll work. It's actually helped him. So now Larry's got to get a hit, and he asked for that because it was a poor safety, a poor push out. That was asking for trouble. And this is a long jump. He's trying to jump over the edge of the 4 to catch the edge of the 1, and it was far too far to jump. And Howie Wowie, well, this is a test of his nerve. He's got a wide open table, and he knows that if he makes a mistake here, he's dead and gone. So this little clearance to survive, another rack, and has he got himself too straight? Well, he has to pump this in a wee bit to get the cue ball out. Is he going to run around the corner? He looks as if he's running around the corner. Yeah. Now, he doesn't want to stick himself to the rail, and immediately he's in trouble, because you don't want to do that. You want to be out into the table. That way you can control the cue ball. He could have stunned down to the shorter side of the 5. The 6 ball's obviously in the way this side, but he's limited now what he can do, because he can only get the top of the cue ball. Yeah, well, he's got some sort of shot. Now, again, this has got to be the right pace to pot the 5. The cue ball's coming the right direction to go into that 6. So you've got to be 100% committed. And don't forget the cue ball, because if you underhit this, you'll end up square. He's got the pot. Well, he's not quite there, and he's just got to watch again, holding the cue ball for this 8. Now, he might be able to run forward. He might brush the 8 in the bottom side. It's hard to say. If he gets it that side, he'll end up above it, but this is sort of touch and go as to what way it's going to end up here. He might miss it altogether, which would be fine, just like that. So now, it's a little dig and a nip. Do you want to try and just come down to the short side? Well, he's going 2 ways. He's got to get a bump, or one thing's got to happen. Well, that's a shot. Oh, shit, I forgot about the 8 ball. I never even noticed the 8 ball was there. It's over the pocket. Oh, this is tough to get on this 9. Yeah, it was never easy, because that spinning the cue ball has just killed it. And the 9's off the rail. Well, he potted that dodgy thing that was on the rail there earlier on, so there's no excuse for this. He's just got to watch he doesn't scratch. And that's very well played. Where's the cue ball going? I think he's okay. I don't think it's got the legs. I think he's fine. Sigh of relief. But anyway, oh shit, it was Larry. I thought that was Howie Wowie. That tells you Friday night 9 ball's no good for me. I didn't even realise Larry was at the table. Right, so Larry is through 7 racks to 4. And Spectre Dawn is in a tight match with Stefan. We're going to have to watch that. It's 3 apiece there. Stefan, well, I've said this umpteen times about Stefan. He blows hot and cold in this tournament. And he's not consistent enough most of the time, a bit like myself. But he's a player that can take his chances and can cause problems, and has done in the past. Larry's up against Lockstar now. Baxter's waiting on the winner of this match. And Tam is 1-0 down against Miasma, who I think is getting whatever ball that is it the 5 ball, which is dangerous in a race to 4. So we're going to nip in and catch the remainder of this Spectre Dawn match. Spectre Dawn about to take the lead. I wonder if, hang on a minute, is this working? There we go. I forgot the camera. I forgot to put the camera on. See if it's actually working. I've still got the, I've adjusted the, what do you call it again? I've adjusted the delay to 350 milliseconds. I don't know whether that makes a jot of bloody difference. Some people say it looks fine, others say it looks horrible. I don't know. Anyway. Well, Spectre Dawn's had a couple of balls in the break. The 7 and 8 have gone. He's on the 1. And if he bumps this 6th ball, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. Oh, he's just, well, he might have grazed it. But, well, he's got a shot if he fancies it. It's a bit dodgy. I mean, you would think that the 3 ball is going to open out. Is he going to play the bank? No, he's just trying to duck. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe he did play the bank. But anyway, Stefan he's got these balls to hide behind here. Maybe he's trying to get a bump and a nudge. This might work out. Then again, well, yes, he's got a pot. Yes, this cue ball's going to have to run around the world to get to this 4 ball. If this is me, I'm just want to see the 4 ball. That's all I'm interested in. I just want to see the 4 ball and give me the opportunity to play a safe. Oh, this looks something crazy. What a shot this is. Superb. Shot of the night so far, folks. Have a look at this. Bang, bang, bang. 2, 3, 4. Was it 4? At least 4. More than 4 rails, wasn't it? Well, now he's got to deliver, and he's got a toughie in this 5 ball. But in it goes. Cracking shot. Oh, and this 6 ball money ball coming in handy. 4 apiece, and more balls in the break, but the 1 ball's going dead. Well, it's not necessarily dead. There is a cut on. But there's also the opportunity for a half-decent safety here as well if he fancies a go at it. Try and get back onto that short rail. But no, Stefan's decided it's all or nothing. And in this case, in this rack, it's nothing. He's scratched. So the 4 ball goes behind the back of the 9 into the other corner pocket, which I presume is where Spectre Dawn's looking to go, because he's got the angle to nip around the back of this 4. And unless he wants to bang this in and stun it up above the 9, to me the easiest shot is just to run around the back of it. But he looks as if he's playing the stun. And he's got there. Well, bit disappointing. Coldest Pillow wasn't here to defend his title, so he is champion no more by the end of the night. Disappointing he couldn't be asked to turn up. That's no bloody excuse. You're up. You're not, well, do you want to rephrase that? Because that sounds a bit sort of how shall we describe it? It sounds a bit incestuous if you say you're up your nan's. You're up your nan's what? It's a bit like a Carry On movie. Oh dear. It was Friday night 9 ball or a Chinese. All right. Well, I must admit, I would prefer the Chinese as well. I don't blame you. Anyway, welcome. Well, you've missed a couple of sensational shots tonight. I've yet to show you mine, which I will do, just to annoy Cobra. I think I've copied and I've got the copy in my clipboard. And this is obviously especially for those viewers who cannot be asked to go into my YouTube channel and looking at the occasional upload that I do, because you would have stumbled across it. It was semi-planned, and it was only semi-planned because I looked at where the 7-ball was before I played the kick. Cobra said it was an LCS shot. Well, it was lucky in one sense that I banged it so hard I hit the rail and the cue ball jumped. The less lucky part of it was the fact that I got the object ball going on a line that gave it a chance to go in off that 7-ball. And it did. It just looks sensational. So it does. Anyway. Oh, now, Spectre Dawn. I thought he was trifling with that 9-ball there. Anything could have happened. He could have ended up hooked. But he's going to be on the hill. And Stefan is very much in trouble. So, Spectre Dawn on the road to regaining his title as Friday night 9-ball champion. Well, that's a good break. 5 balls gone in. Balls have spread all over the place. But the cue ball has married up with a 1. Well, he's playing the push out. Now, Stefan can either put him back in or play a shot. I'm not really sure what there is here for Stefan, to be honest with you. 8 balls clearly blocking the path for the 1 onto the 3. He hasn't given it back. And well, I don't think that's too bad. I don't. I mean, what's bad about it is that he should be stuck behind the 8-ball here. But is he trying to nudge it in? He's trying to nudge it in. Well, the 1 ball was going to have to get really lucky to have a shot on for him. Doing that, but he's got a bank. That's what I said. He's very, very hot and cold, Stefan. There's sometimes I've watched him on Friday night 9-ball where he plays like a complete numpty. And then there's others where he won't miss a ball. And I don't know what the hell he drinks on a Friday night. But that's no good from Spectre Dawn. Now, if Stefan can take most of the pace off this cue ball and avoid hooking himself behind the 4... Oh, has he got the legs? I think he has. That's well done. Well, Tam, thanks to Tam for entering the tournament, but it's good night, Vienna. Miasma's taking care of him with that 5 and out handicap. That was lethal, getting 5 and out in a race to 4. Let's be fair. And Tam predicted that this morning. He said he was going to sign up, but he was going to get hammered by the rating and the handicap. Spectre Dawn. Well, the miss from Stefan was definitely his last miss, because Spectre Dawn is going to tidy up here and march on. Well, it's Friday and I have not set foot outside the door all week. I had all my big shop done when I finished my last shift last Saturday it was, and I have not been over the door. Well, strictly speaking, I haven't been over the front door. I went out the back door to take the bin out today, to take the weekly bin, with all the plastics and cardboard and stuff. I took that out and then I went out to bring it back in once they'd emptied it. But I've not been out anywhere to do any shopping or nothing. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Miasma says this does not at all reflect anything. Well, he got 5 and out and he used it for a 4-0 win. You need a dog. No, that's the last thing I need. Too much hassle, too much expense. Well, anyway, here we are into round 3. We've got Spectre Dawn up against Bankster. We've got Larry. Oh, he's now 2-0 up in front of Lochstar. Lochstar's getting what looks like 7 and out. If we have a quick look over on the one loss side, we can see Miasma is now up against Howie Wowie. And Chris and Stefan are about to get underway. Well, you know what I say about Bankster. He's the most dangerous player in VP4 with a handicap, and this is going to be a true test for him. Can he get enough shots at the table to take down Spectre Dawn? He's getting the 7 ball. Larry's got a 2-0 lead, so we're going to go in and watch this Bankster Spectre Dawn match. We will get straight into the room. And Bankster is keen to get underway. In fact, what we'll do is we'll just kill some time. Watch this. Get rid of this thing. Let's watch my sensational shot. Right, here we are in Virtual Pool 4. This is actually the recording of bugger. Monday night. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Story of the match so far: Larry and Winky Lee went up 3 racks to 1, but myself lagging off. Hang on. Slim got it back to 3 apiece. Larry's at the table. I think we've got all sorts of weird stuff going on. Larry's going to get nasty on me. He's going to bury me. Maybe that wasn't a good idea to do that. Maybe it wasn't a good idea. No, right. I think we'll pack in with that as an idea. I think I might have just ruined the room. Oh no, we're okay, it's recovered. Anyway, Bankster getting the 7 ball. Spectre Dawn won the lag. 6 ball in the break. Half a shot in the 1. And the 2 ball is going nowhere. Yeah, just click the link in the lobby. Right, so no prizes for guessing what should be happening here. Although this is a wee bit fiddly where this 2 ball is sitting. It's just a wee bit fiddly. You can't be too delicate. You've got to get a ball to a rail, remember. So yeah, he's played it all wrong. Yeah, I thought he'd have went the other way. I thought he'd have went that way. And, well, he's not left anything simple. Let's just say that. But it wasn't a great effort by Spectre Dawn again. And Bankster has potted it. Now, the 8 ball you can get to no problem. And it's off the rail. It's not tight. So this is all about just Bankster doing the business. And what am I talking about, the 8 ball anyway? He doesn't need the 8 ball, he only needs up to the 7 ball. So, a poor safety once again by Spectre Dawn, or poorly executed. I think he'd have been far safer going to the right side of that 8 ball than what he did, because he wasn't intended to brush the 9, I don't think. And it gifted an opportunity for Bankster. And he gets first blood. 3 ball has gone in, 7 ball gone in, and unfortunately the cue ball was one of them as well. So Baxter shot himself right in the foot. Good start. And 2 ball. Well, he's just got to finish below the 2. He wants to get in a decent line, and that's perfect. Bit straight though, but he's not got much to do. He can hit this fairly, just to make sure he gets off the rail. You don't want to be nailed to the rail, but now this has to be done right, because you could try and stay inside this, but if you're going to go outside, you've got to go well outside, and he has done. Didn't want to mess with that 9 ball. And I take it, I saw Mark was online. I take it Mark's not in the stream, because if he said hello, I haven't seen it in the chat. No, I don't think he's there. I'm now almost like Buster Merrifield out of Only Fools and Horses with this beard. I think this is the longest I've let it grow. And I might just let it go to see where it ends up. If I end up looking like somebody out of ZZ Top. I might need to buy hair straighteners for my beard. Well, Spectre Don is going to take the advantage here, get himself all square. Not quite like Dumbledore. That was Robbie Coltrane, wasn't it? You know something? This is something that I will say. I have never seen a Harry Potter film. Never. I've never sat down and watched one. And you know something else? I never will. I've never seen a Harry Potter film. This cue ball looks reasonably good, and he's going to be hampered both ways. The fact that you can't see an edge of that 3. There's no way you can see an edge of that 3. This is really awkward. And he would have to go very close to the 5 ball to get a hit in that 3 off the rail. Well, he's trying to spin it. Good luck with this shot. Yeah, that's never on. And that had Bankster in all sorts of trouble. So, Spectre Dawn, again ball in hand, and a little test of getting on the 4 ball. And everything is there, so you know the story. It's the usual thing. It's all about cue ball movement. All the balls are there. You've just got to move the cue ball into the right spots each time, which Spectre Dawn has an annoying habit of doing pretty well most of the time. And of course, for them that don't know, Spectre Dawn was signed up to the straight pool. We all thought that was good. He was getting in to give it a go. And he then had a fallout with Steve over replacement players, etc., etc. At least that's what I'm reading on it. And he decided to withdraw. Do you ever use Curry's? I used to work in Curry's. I worked in Curry's for 20 years. I have to say, though, the last thing I bought from Curry's was when I still worked there, and that was my big Panasonic television, and it's still working. I used to work in Curry's. Yeah, but very stressful job it was, by the way. Very stressful. I used to be ill. I mean, I had really bad migraines with the stress. I mean, that's the only thing I could put it down to is the stress of, doing your targets and all of that stuff. And I have to say that my dietary habits were even worse than what they are now. I mean, for 20 years virtually, I would get up in the morning. If it was an early start, if I had to be at work for 8:30 in the morning to get the shop ready for opening, I'd be up. I'd have a cup of coffee and I'd go to work. And I would. This was a habit that I had from school, long way back, where I never had any breakfast in the morning. I only ever used to have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Absolutely nothing I would eat until break time in the morning. And it was the same when I worked at Curry's. I used to get up in the morning and I would have a cup of coffee. I wouldn't have toast or nothing. Off to work I'd go. The problem with that was, and the mistake I made there was, that because you didn't have a huge amount of staff, everybody had to go for their break at a certain time. And depending how busy the store was, depending on whether you got away to get your break at a certain time or have your lunch break. And there were some days where I wouldn't have anything to eat until like 2, 3 in the afternoon. And that just was not good. And combine that with the stress of the job, it all backfired. I was coming down with terrible migraines. I mean, I'm talking about really. I had all the shimmering symptoms. I had then it would be a cold sweat. I had all of that. I would wake up in the morning sometimes with that symptom, and then I knew what was coming next. It would be the sickness, and then diarrhea as well. I had everything. I mean, it was literally coming out both ends. That's how bad they were. And then I made a decision that I was going to start having something to eat in the morning. And you obviously, it's like any sales business. If you're not doing your targets, you're asked why you're not doing your targets. Everything's good until things start going wrong in that business. But I didn't realise, though. See, you don't realise how much that has an effect on you until you're well out of it. See, now that I'm well out of it, now that I'm doing what I do now, the job that I do now is so much. There's people doing the job that I do who. There was one of the lassies when she just started. I remember having a word with her. And she said to me, I was asking her what was up, and she was pulled in, and I told her she was pulled in because her pick rate wasn't good enough, which they'll do you for if it's consistently not good enough. And I told her, I said, listen, this is the easiest job you're ever going to do for a start. You've got nobody on your back when you're out in the shop floor. There's nobody hanging over your shoulder, which they are in the sales business a lot of times. They're all hanging about listening to what you're doing. And I said, this job is so easy. And I gave her a bit of advice. I said, well, the one way you'll keep your pick rate up is to do the right picks. Stick to doing some chills, which is like, fresh meat and chicken and all of that stuff, and yogurts and milk and everything. If you do them, your pick rate will be a lot quicker because you get a lot less distance to travel. And so I gave her some advice on that, and now she's flying. She's not got any problem now that she's settled in the job. But I said to her, I said, look, believe me, this job is a doddle compared to what I used to do. You've no idea how easy this job is. And so it is. It's much, much, much easier to do to work in .com than it is doing proper sales. You don't have to answer to any customers. Customers will say, where's this, where's that? That's all you have to do. But you're not selling them anything. All you're doing is doing your shopping for other customers, and then home you go. It couldn't be any easier. I just wish I had done that a lot sooner, but circumstances in my life changed when my mother took ill, and I made the decision to pack in my job, look after her, and then now that she's out of the business and out of the game, it was back to work. Watch this cue ball. Oh, it's just held. Meanwhile, with me ranting and raving, Spectre Don's got a 3-1 lead. Got to avoid a scratch in the side pocket. And he's just checked it up a wee bit there. I don't know whether you noticed, but he just checked it up with a wee bit of left, just to straighten the cue ball, stop it taking that open line to the side pocket. Oh dear. And commentators curse. He's created a howler there. Oh, is this 8-ball banging onto the 9? I'd be giving this a proper bang. I'd be looking at this before you hit something here, Bankster. Look at that line with the 8-ball to the 9. It might be actually going half of the 9-ball, I think, but I'd be giving this a proper bang. Oh no, the 8-ball's running out. Maybe the right idea. The only thing he hasn't done is hit a bloody rail. Oh dear. That's another howler. Well, Larry has survived. He's a 7-2 winner against Lochstar. Stubbs arrived and left, thank God. Did he type something? I don't know. I wasn't even looking to read it. And now I want to have a good sneeze. And that sneeze has just disappeared. Why is it I get an itchy nose when I'm doing live streaming? What the hell's that all about? Well, Bankster, big mistake there. Okay, he didn't have any shot on in the 5 other than the crazy thing I looked at, which wasn't really on, but you've got to get a ball to a rail. Well, Bankster's good start seems an awful long way back now, doesn't it? 4-1 behind. Spectre Don, 1 ball in the break, sitting plumb in the 2, and we know where this is going, don't we? This is all over bar the shout in this rack. I saw a thing, I read it on the TV text about Tesco making out-of-date food, or the reductions making it. I mean, that's what they do at the moment anyway. But they've never turned around and offered anything to me at reduced prices. They don't, and we're talking about late on at night, and some of the stores are going to reduce them and are going to give the stuff away for nothing. They want to do it a bit earlier in the bloody day, when I'm finished my shift, rather than waiting till last thing at night. Because they do put a lot of stuff aside for the local charities that come in. You know, these people that maybe run, what do you call them? These food banks and that sort of stuff. They come in and they collect the bread and things, the stuff that's out of date that day. I mean, it's still perfectly edible. There's things in my fridge right now that are out of date. You know, ready meals that I've got that I bought last Saturday that are now out of date. And I'll happily eat them because it's not a bloody problem. They get nuked in the microwave, and they're perfectly safe to eat. People are fixated by sell-by dates on stuff. I think a lot of it's a big con, in all honesty. And I've never been sick yet eating something that's out of date. I mean, come on. Will Stubb go out early again? Well, of course he will if he's just banging. He'll get into that habit. where all he's thinking about is the fact that he can pop balls. What he's not thinking about is in fact, he's actually sent me a PM I've just noticed on Facebook that's popped up. What bullshit is he typing now? F all those BS jobs. Be a security guard like Stubb overnight somewhere. So you're trying to tell me, Stubb, you're a one-armed security guard? What the hell have you got in place of your arm? Has he got a bloody... has he got one of those Terminator metal arms that can throttle somebody? I think he's giving me bullshit. Is Stubb giving away a secret here? Saying that he's a security guard? I wouldn't trust him at all. I don't think Stubb knows what he is, let's be honest. But he'll look good as a one-armed security guard, I'll tell you that. Anyway, Spectre Don has got this match all but won. This is a long road back for Bankster. Too long, as a matter of fact. And there's another result come through on the one-loss side. Stefan has survived. He's had a 4-2 win against Chris. And we are an hour and 20 minutes into VP4TV's final Friday night 9-ball that we couldn't have 16 folk that could be asked to get in the damn thing. Well, again, got to get high enough up into the table. Right side needs to keep going, and that will do. Larry types something out of the blue, which I don't know what he's really talking about, unless he's typing in the wrong chat and thinking he's talking to somebody else. Larry says Baltimore is a tough town. Started late here. I have no clue what Larry's talking about. Oh, Stubbs in Baltimore. That's now. Am I right in saying that Baltimore is on the east side of the states, Larry? Am I correct in saying that it's on over the eastern side of the states? Yeah. So, because I remember years ago, was it the? I can't remember how, but I ended up on Google. I ended up on Google Maps. Looking for Stubbs' address, and I don't know whether it was it Stubb that won something, and I was sending him a trophy, and I think it was what do you call him, Stubbs' pal at the time, that was dealing with his details. I can't remember. Maybe I was dreaming it, but anyway, I thought it was. I thought he stayed over somewhere on the eastern side of the states, and I'm sure I was looking at Google Maps at Baltimore, but this was a long time ago. Oh, that's what I meant to say, Larry, now that you're here. And I don't know, again, I can't remember whether I've already asked you this. I think I did the other night, but you weren't there. I'm going to ask you this again. Did you hear, did it, I might have already said this. My memory's getting so bad that I can't remember if I have had this discussion on the live stream, but there was a guy that PM'd me before I did the last live stream I did. Did I tell you about that? I can't remember whether I told you that or not, because I'd been waiting you showing up. Right, I had a PM from a name in the lobby that I didn't recognise, and he said to me, he said, and all he said when I opened the PM was, the last time I played you was 22 years ago. And I said, well, you didn't play me with that name. And I thought, well, the only person that he only PM'd me because I was the only name in the lobby that he recognised. There was nobody else that he recognised. And I said, well, who the hell are you? And he said, UK Twister, which immediately rang a bell because I used to play him at snooker. I think he just normally played at snooker, but I'm sure you'll remember that name. You must have remembered seeing that name in VP3. And if Larry had been in the lobby, he would have been the only second person he would have recognised because Larry's been around longer than me. There you go. So the last time he was online must have been 20 years ago because he'd never been in VP4. He'd never been in VP4. What old video? In fact, when was I ever playing snooker on VP4? My high, I just checked the other day there, my highest breaking snooker in VP4 is 67. So that's not even playing it, hardly. Anyway, Spectre Dawn is through. Let's have a quick look. Howie Wowie's now playing Baxter on the one-loss side. Stefan is 2-0 up against Lochstar, and we're going to have what we call a hot seat match here. And of course, it's the usual suspects. It's Larry and Spectre Dawn playing for the hot seat, and we'll get in there. Well, UK Twister. He wasn't. I mean, he played VP3, but he wasn't there. He wasn't there every night. He wasn't one of those guys that was there every night. But when he did turn up, he usually played snooker, and I played him. So then, who was I playing at snooker then? CP. Oh, I'll tell you something. I mean, I'm a proper tactical genius at snooker. I'll tell you that right now. I just can't pot balls. That's the problem. Right, so let's get into the room. Aye, that shows you how often I've played snooker nowadays. I mean, I look forward to coming to VP4 for snooker, and then the eyes have started going downhill to the extent that I now can't see the edges of balls. So we're in the room. We're waiting on both players arriving. And I'll tell you something else. 20 years ago, at least 20 years ago, was the last time I played stub at snooker. And I've told this before. That was when I played stub. And I told him there and then, I said, I'll never play again. Because I had a century in the first frame we played. And I think I was either on for my second or my third one, and he quit and he bailed out and he ran. And I said, that's it. We'll never play again. Never played him then or since. And I wish somebody had recorded that one where I choked on the bloody the green ball. I think it was the green ball, and I was on a 147. I wish somebody was recording and doing streaming then. I'd done everything perfect until we came to the colours. I potted. Was it the yellow, or was it the black? And I come down and I snookered myself in the yellow. I can't remember, but I think I might have snookered myself behind the green. I think that's what I did, and that was my one and only great chance of having a 147. Well, here we go, hot seat match time, and Larry is getting, well, that's a very generous handicap. Larry's getting a 7 ball. Yeah, those were the days. I stumbled across another website, and I never saved it, and I haven't a clue what it's called, but I stumbled across another website that plays old games, old out-of-date games, and I think I got distracted I was for something else, and I can't remember, but I didn't get to check to see if VP3 was in the list. Because I noticed somebody posting stuff that they could get VP3 working in Windows 10, they could do this, that, and the next thing. And I'm trying to remember the other website that I did play VP3 on for a short while. you know, that was after GameSpy shut down. When GameSpy shut down, we were all looking around for somewhere where we could still play VP3, but it had to be LAN. You know, that was why we were annoyed that VP4 didn't have LAN and allow you to just give somebody your IP and you could play online. But no one plays snooker. Aye, they do. The only problem is there's nobody here to play it. That's the problem. You know, Matt will play snooker. Tony Sam will play snooker, but he's very rarely online. That HK guy from Hong Kong, he'll play snooker. But again, it's only on at certain times during the day, because don't forget, he's like 8 hours in front of us down that part of the world. Yeah, there's snooker used to be a lot more populated than it is now. Well, that needs to bounce. Oh, I would give you a masterly safety lesson. I've no doubt about that. But then again, I'm a good bullshitter. Now there's a star. What do you call it? A star? What do you call those guys out of Star Wars? He's a. Oh, what the hell do you call them? But he's holding a 9-ball. That's my 5-litre bottle of water. It's down to like just over half a litre left. I've got another 3 downstairs, so I've got plenty of water supply. Aye, Stormtrooper, that's the word I was looking for. Oh, good evening to Interchange X. Well, you've got 2 big matches coming up in the next 2 or 3 days. You've Cobra to Scalp in the final of the 10-ball, and then you've got to do a Swede on Tuesday night. So good luck. You would make a good Darth Vader. What the hell makes you think that I would make a good Darth Vader? Where the hell do you get that idea I'd be a good Darth Vader? Because I'm just a nasty bastard or what? No, wait a minute. Have I mixed up the names again? Hold on a minute. Who the hell's Todd again? Have I mixed up Todd Hoffenberg with Interchange X? It's that time of night, remember? Yeah, you're playing bloody Bedhead on Tuesday. Or have I read that wrong? On the straight pool? You mean you don't realise that you're playing Bedhead on Tuesday? Come on, you're kidding me on. You are joking. You've got the final on Sunday, Sunday morning your time, with Cobra, and then from what I've read, you're playing Bedhead on Tuesday. Or have I mixed up names or what? Oh, we do sarcasm, but the problem with sarcasm is it doesn't really come over well on chat. That's where you see. I can be proper sarcastic with Steve when you're in Discord. I see where you're coming from now. You see, now I get it. Now you've explained it to me. You see, at this time of night, the problem is you're messing with my brain because I'm half asleep. 9 balls going in. And 2 ball over the pocket. 1 ball is going nowhere fast, I think. Or is it? Well, that ain't dropping into the side pocket. I don't care who you are. That ain't going in there. Well, this is tight if he's trying to go round the back of the 3 to get there. I thought you can see the edge of the 1. Only problem is it's a very dinky, delicate shot. This if he's just trying to nudge it past the side pocket. Well, I don't know what he did there. Did he try and bump that off the back of the 8 into the side? Anyway, Spectre Dawn has his chance. When are we leaving? When are we having a VP4 Mosconi? Well, I'll tell you why we're not having it, right? Why we're not having it is because there's nobody out there who will make their own website for it. You need to make a web page for it. There's nobody there doing that and setting up the proper format for it. Is there enough players interested in taking part in it? That's another thing. Because it has to be done externally from the VP4 tournament system for a start. So it needs people to want to be involved to organise it. See, when we used to have the leagues, and when we had the Mosconi Cup, which sadly the website is gone for that. When we had the Mosconi Cup, somebody set the web page for it. Somebody set the place where you could go and get information on it. But there's nobody here organised enough or available enough to take a hold of that and deal with it. But like I say, it's not something that is done through the VP4 tournament system, because that won't happen. And the longer you talk about it and not doing anything about it, the longer it ain't going to happen. They've spoke about that for goodness knows how long. Oh, Stubb wouldn't make the team. I mean, he's in the team. What is there? There are 4 players in the team or 5 players in the team? No, he wouldn't make the team. He might get in as a first reserve, but that's about it. And there's too much of the... Is that going to go in? Whoa, it wiped its feet. There's too much of the Earl Strickland. There's too much baggage comes with him. You could have had a Mosconi, a VP4 Mosconi Cup a long while ago if there was just somebody who'd grab the bull by the horns and actually organise the setup for it. And of course, the only other way it works is when everybody shows up. I think the Mosconi Cup that we did have went over 2 nights. I think that's how long it lasted. It went over 2 nights. I don't even think you can find anything about it on that, what do you call that website that goes back with some saved web pages? What you call the Internet Archive? I don't think you can even find it on that anymore. This cue ball's going to scratch. So Larry, 3-1 down, has been given a lifeline here to get back in this. Yeah, well, here's the other thing, Coldest Pillow. Your enthusiasm for having a Mosconi Cup isn't good enough. Do you see what I mean? Because you're the only one that's shown enthusiasm for it. There's not enough people interested. They'd be shouting in the streets that they want this. They'd be saying it they'd be asking in the lobby, when are we doing this? That interest isn't there anymore. There used to be a lot more enthusiasm in VP3, I think, than there ever has been in VP4, because don't forget, everything had to be done off your own back in VP3. there wasn't any tournament system for virtual pool. There was nothing. That had to be done, and Nugget Simon did that. He had his own tournament website, and if we didn't have that, we wouldn't have had any tournaments. We'd had nothing at all, and it was well used at the time. And the other thing is, there's not enough people watch my channel or live streams. I mean, you think there's 13, well, there's 12 people 13 if you include me. And out of all of them, only 3 people have spoken tonight as far as I can see. Todd has spoken, Larry has spoken, and yourself, and all the rest of them have said nothing. So that shows you how much enthusiasm there is in VP4. There's just not enough of it. There's nobody. There's none of these other people watching, taking part in the conversation, mate. So I think you're barking up a tree, looking for that sort of level of enthusiasm from everybody else. It ain't going to happen. I mean, I'd love to stream it. It would be, again, it'd be awkward hours because of the guys from the States. It would, but then again, now that Slim's around, if it was done you first of all, you've got to ask guys from the UK to stay up late at night, and then you've got to ask guys from the States to be there in the middle of the afternoon. And that's the other problem, is the time zone difference. And Albanario, I can't remember what tournament Albanario was involved in, because he had a website for that. Was it 10 ball or 8 ball or something? You know, we've had 1 or 2 different. The other one that was the best one that was set up was Satman's league website. When we had leagues, we had I think we eventually had 3 tiers of the leagues. And that was well played, so it was, when we had it. It was very short-lived. And eventually, you know, again, people go elsewhere. And Stefan has gone through the final rack decider against Lockstar, so Stefan is hanging in there. I mean, you know me, if I could... if I had the skills, or actually the inclination, which I don't have, to actually learn how to build a sort of basic web page and whatever, I would have done that a long time ago. I would have organised it. But as I said, I don't have those skills, and I don't have any intention of even attempting to learn any of them either. Well, is this the reverse bank on the 6th ball? No, he's played it in the side. It was not easy. It wasn't easy either way, because I don't think it was lined up perfect. You had to pick that line. So Larry has a chance to get back all square here. 1 good pot. He's bound to be on the 7. Oh dear. Well, disaster. Larry's just shot himself in the foot. The old nightmare scratch. And it lets Spectre Dawn off the hook. Well, see, the thing is, I mean, Steve's done a lot. I mean, this game, we've still got a game, and as I've said, a lot of the games that the most recent games that he's put in are stuff that he likes. Get a chance, go to YouTube and just type in 8-Ball Killer. There only is one video. And go and have a look at that 8-Ball Killer with the 10 guys playing it. It's hilarious at the end of it, with some of the mistakes they're doing, and scratches and stuff. That would be a great game to play in VP4. But again, that's something where there's quite a few people have showed enthusiasm for it. Is it ever likely to happen? I don't know. You know, what is Steve actually doing? We don't know. That he won't. You know, you're not going to hear anything. You're not going to hear anything about it. Is he actually doing anything? We don't know. What's the next chapter? Is VP4 just going to gradually fade out and die? Because that's the way it's been heading for a long time. We all know that. We all laughed at the start when Shooter's Pool came along. A lot of us died in the wool. VP4 players don't like it because of the aim restriction thing. We're not comfortable with it, and I certainly was never comfortable with it, and I wasn't prepared to spend enough time and give it enough time to get used to it. But there's a game that gives, I keep saying it and I'll say it to him blue in the face, there's a game that gives the people what they want. They want things at a far better price for a start, which you don't have in VP4. And they have the ability to play the games the way they want to play them. They can set their own tournaments if they want. You can't do that in here. Everything's all locked down to everything set up that Steve knows the tournament system inside out. Nobody else does, really. It's all set up for him to understand it, but not for everybody else, really. And there's people that have been here that have dwindled and gone elsewhere. And now Shooter's Pool is a place to be. It's got hundreds of people playing it on a regular basis, and we've never had that in VP4. There was dreams that was what was going to happen, but it never ever materialised. And we've never had 100 people in the VP4 lobby, because I've been there most nights, and there's never been 100 people in it. Never, not once, not a single time have we ever had 100 people online. But you can guarantee that if you nip into Shooter's Pool right now, there's well over 100 in it. I can guarantee you that. And they're all playing. There's plenty of people playing gratis. There's plenty of people playing matches with their mates with the lines on, the tracking lines on. Steve's always concerned about that, about having tracking lines on and online for people cheating. But there's a game that's went the other way. That's a game that's given everybody what they want. Bits and pieces, cues, balls, cloths, tables. They're all much better priced than they are in VP4. And the people, like every product and every service that's available in life, people vote with their feet. And if we're only getting 40 to 50 people in here of a night, and that's a good night if we get 50 odd people, then we're doing something wrong. And I don't think we're giving people what they want. And that's my opinion. That's always been my opinion. I mean, if we had a tourney system where everybody could set their own tournaments, I'd be all for that. And the one that have in Shooter's Pool is numpty proof, is very straightforward. If we had something like that, you see, the thing is Steve made everything the way he likes it, you know, and it's not, the place isn't necessarily 100% user friendly. But maybe all of that stuff is well outdated and needs to be updated. But that involves an awful lot of work and time to try and put things right. But to me, the horse is already bolted. It's way too late to invest any great deal of sums in trying to make this a better game. I don't think it is worth the money to do that. The game's too long in the tooth, and you know, technologies have moved on, computers have moved on, and you just have to face the facts that whatever has happened, the volume of traffic that this place needs to really prosper has never materialised, and frankly never will, the way it is in its present situation. It won't do it. And don't forget, as Semi-Pro says, we've got this hostile atmosphere that we have in the lobby somewhere. Where it is, I don't know, but he's voted with his feet and went elsewhere, as have other people. This looks good to me. It looks very good. Excellent shot. But there is room for a jump over the edge of the 8 and catch the edge of that 3, although I don't think it's so much for a pot, just for a hit. Well, that's a great shot. Oh, and he's avoided the scratch. Now, replay's definitely working. And he's landed on top of the 4, which is no good. But Larry's 5-3 down and really needs to come out of this rack on top. And meanwhile, Howie Wowie has taken out Bankster, 4 racks to 2. Well, Larry will be in trouble in a minute if Spectrodon can play this right. Now, he's got to use the 5 ball here. He's got to use that half of the 5 ball with the 4 to drop left side of the 5. That's what he should be doing. But it's a tricky little dink. But he's got to push this 4 onto the 5 and just drop that side. Now he's trying to get up the table for cover, and he gets the bump in the 9 and leaves the 4 on. Well, I think if he'd went about it my way, he would have had a far better safety. That was all hinging on the fact he had to miss the 9 and get up to that corner and use the 6. Now, as it is, he's given Larry another lifeline here. Well, I think going back to this Moscone Cup thing, you've really got to have people that are trustworthy on your team. And when I say trustworthy, I mean that they'll show up. You've definitely got to have subs for that scenario. You need to have good, reliable subs. I would suggest at least 2 that could fill in or jump in. But most of all, you also need to have communication between your teams. You need to use the messaging system in VP4 to tell each other whether they're going to show up or not. That's the important thing. You have to have communication. If you have somebody not show up, and then all you have is, well, did he tell you? Did he tell you? If that's a discussion, that's no good. You need to have. You need to. Well, it's one way of communicating. Well, not everybody wants to use Discord. The messaging system is perfectly adequate as long as you get them forwarded to your email. There's not a problem. And as long as you pay attention to your emails or you check online when you're online, there's no way you would miss a message. But if you don't get people 100% behind that to start with, then you're buggered straight away if there's a lack of communication between each other and the team. See, these things, as I say, it's all very well having the enthusiasm to have these events, but they've got to be done right, and you've got to have the right people doing it and the right people taking part where you can rely on them. And I don't mean just rely on them to pop balls, I mean rely on them to show up and actually communicate. Welcome to Mooncake. Well, we are 2 hours pretty much into tonight's tournament. Well, we're a wee bit short of 2 hours. But we've got Larry battling for survival here in the hot seat match. Oh dear, that's a terrible shot in that 5. Look at how bad that was. Look at how bad he pushed that 5 into the rail. That's absolutely awful. I mean, how bad was that, Larry? That was terrible. A shocker. Well, Larry sold out right there and then. I mean, that's a pretty much unmissable 5 ball down the rail. And how the hell he's missed it that far, I do not know. I mean, that was he just completely wasn't aiming at all for a start. Coming down in the short side, and it's perfect. Might be a bit straight though, but not a problem. He can just roll through, play the 7 long if he wants to. Doesn't matter. As long as he gets the angle to get out in the 8. I'll have a quick drink. Well, when you say Steve could try it with 4 people in a team, the thing is you're asking Steve to put in the time and effort to make something that would allow this to be a tournament in VP4, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. This is something that has to be done third party, if you know what I mean, where Steve isn't involved at all. Because if you leave it up to him, there's no way that's a priority on his list of things to do. Let's be clear on that. That's way off that. That's not even in the ballpark. Let's be frank. How would you implement it in VP4? Dead easy. You just set up the match. You set up the match. If it's a race to 4, it's Scottish doubles. If it's I'll start again. The Moscone Cup is just a sequence of matches, either single matches, 1-on-1, or it's Scottish doubles. Well, that's easy enough to set up in VP4. You set you've got the rules of what the room is and what the table is and what the settings are. You've got all of them all set out. You have to have all of that set out, obviously, before you start the tournament. Somebody's in charge of setting the room. The room's set to the agreed specifications. And you play your Scottish doubles match. You play the singles match next, or whatever how many matches it is in a night. But that's easy enough to do. But like I said, it's not something that's done using the tournament system in VP4, because the tournament system in VP4 doesn't allow for that. It's not set up to do anything like that. So you have to set up your own tourney page, somebody that updates the scores and the results and all of that stuff and any other relevant information needed. But that, again, is asking somebody to take their time to do it. But how much enthusiasm is there for that? That's the thing. There's just not enough people crying out for something like this to happen to make it worth anybody's time and effort in doing it. I mean, ever since we did that one in VP3, there's been talk about it, and it's never ever came to fruition. And meanwhile, Larry's heading over to that one lost side. Spectre Dawn, odds-on favourite to regain his Friday night 9-ball title. And we will see that he is residing in the hot seat once that updates. Larry heads over to the one lost side, and he's waiting on the winner of this match that we're just about to jump into between Howie Wowie And Stefan, how are we about to square this up? There's no handicap. Race to 4. Why hasn't Steve allowed people to make their own tournament? Because, like I said earlier, when Steve, he had a vision of how he was going to do it. And he decided that he was making his own tournament system. But if you could only see the way the tournament system's set up, it's set up the way he understands it, but it's not 100% user friendly, shall we say? It's not really. It's something he set up that only he really knows everything about it 100%. Brian, who sets the tournaments, he just does the very basic things for setting a tournament. There's loads of other things that the tournament system does that only Steve is really the one that's in charge of doing that, like setting all the handicaps. You can have seeding for tournaments that we don't use. There's lots of things it does that these big tournaments don't use. You could have seedings, and he never really uses that. So if you go and look at Shooter's Pool and you go in and set up your own tournament, you'll see how user-friendly that is, because that's a lot more simplified in how it does it. You can add your own funds, your own virtual dollars into the prize pot, which I did that once. I did one Friday night 9-ball in Shooter's Pool, and I put in an amount of $dollars in the prize pot. You can do that. The prize pot is obviously made up by the amount of people that sign up for the event, etc., etc. But it's a very user-friendly tournament system they've got, because that was what they had planned to do right from the start. Steve wanted it to be something that he understood, whereas those guys at Shooter's Pool set it up in a way that they wanted everybody else to understand, and they've done that well. Yeah, that's exactly what you can do. If you're regularly playing with a bunch of guys, and somebody pipes up, why don't we have an 8-ball tournament or a 9-ball tournament? Within 5 minutes you've got a tournament set and off you go. I mean, there's regular tournaments in Shooter's Pool that pop up that have all been preset, just like in here. Those are all set by the guys that run the place. But then, any tournament, any guy can set up any tournament they want. I don't honestly think. I mean, I'm not there. I don't go in there any time. I don't get any sort of regular occasion, so I don't know. I can't swear blind, but I don't think there's an awful lot of people actually getting involved in making tournaments in there. I could be totally wrong. I just don't think there is. I mean. It used to be you could go into the lobby there and actually ask people if they were setting their own tournaments, but you can't do that now either, because they don't have a moderator system, and the way to moderate the place is to have nobody talking to each other at all. Let me have a read at that one, because I can't read that from there. By the way, Slim, that's what I meant to ask you. Now that you're still there, why is it you only actually signed up to my channel about a week ago, and then do you regularly sign up to it and then unsubscribe? Yeah, because I noticed I get messages telling me when somebody has became a member. And I noticed that you just became a member last week. I assumed that you were a registered subscriber to my channel for years. But you must subscribe and then unsubscribe. Checking if it was banned. Anyway, after all of that, Stefan has taken out Howie Wowie. So this might be one of these nights where Stefan is going to run hot for the rest of the tournament, because he's still in there. He's still in there fighting, and he's got a chance to skin Larry with his handicap as well. He's getting, what's he getting? I can't read that bloody thing. Are we going to get into the room? He's getting the last two. So Stefan has won the lag. Oh, 9 ball gets kicked in. So the 9 ball will come back up. And has he got a shot in the 1? Yes, he has. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, dear. Well, right off the bat, Larry's got a gift handed to him from Stefan. And I noticed that I lost 2 subscribers this week again. I don't know what the hell's going on. And I'm not sure whether that's people actively unsubscribing or it's YouTube, because I've seen videos with people saying the same thing for quite a long time, that you need to double check that you're still subscribed. And the reason for that is that you're sometimes either automatically unsubscribed, or there's a bug in the system where that's happening for some people. Well, Larry managed to make a mess of his opportunity right off the bat. Stefan having to kick. Larry's getting another go. So a bit of a messy start here. Oh, I could well believe it was Stubb. Where's the cue ball? I think he's fine. Well, what time is it now? We have been on for 2 hours and 10 minutes. I'm getting double vision at this time of night. My eyes are going right down the pan. No, it's 9:05. 2 hours and 5. So it'll be an early finish, thank God. And it'll be my last one. I am done with this. I'll be able to get to my bed round about this time of a Friday and get a couple more hours sleep that I've been missing for. In fact, you know what I did? I went onto my channel today and I was trying to find my first Friday night 9 ball, but I started trawling through videos. There's 1,300 videos and I couldn't be bothered at the end of it. So if somebody wants to try and trawl through YouTube on my channel and try and find my first Friday night 9 ball, good luck to you. I'm trying to think how many years ago that would be. Oh, this is no good. Or is it? I think he might have landed plumb. Yeah, he's absolutely plumb. It's certainly been a number of years ago. I mean, because you have a Welsh flag called as pillow, are you a proper Welshman? I mean, do you sound like Ruth Maddock? That's what I'm asking. Hello, campers. Oh, that sort of stuff. Where's the cue ball going? Oh! Oh! Was it only 4 years ago, Slim? My first... I can't remember when my first Friday night 9 ball was. I mean, the first thing I think I uploaded was from... it was from a pool game on the PlayStation, and I can't remember the name of the pool game either. That was the first thing that I uploaded, if I remember right. Oh dear. Watch the cue ball. Where's he going? He needs to not jump out, and he's just made it. Well, I've gotten... I mean, my memory's barely last week, and I wasn't there for last week's. Well, I mean, what I do remember is when we started doing the 9-ball tournament in VP4, when we started doing that, every man and a dog was complaining about the handicap system. But I think more and more people have a better understanding of how it actually does work, and it is supposed to work, and that the better players should be able to handle the handicapping against them. And I think that's probably a lot more accepted now than what it was when it first started. You had people moaning that they wouldn't play because of the handicap, and that's probably still the case. That people, still moan about. Some people moan the fact that they're given a handicap when they more than need it, and others won't play in it because there's a handicap. I mean, if you set Friday night 9-ball to a straight tournament, would that get more people in it? I don't know. But you'll have a long wait before that happens, let's put it that way. Friday night 9-ball, when we used to do them in VP3, there was no such thing as a handicap. It was a straight open tournament. It would be pretty much full every week. It started a lot later than this. I remember Friday night 9-ball starting at 9 o'clock my time. But that was long before I started doing tournaments, though. It used to start at 9 o'clock. But they weren't double elimination. Because I'm pretty certain the tourney system that Simon had wasn't set for double elimination. I don't think it was. Was it? I don't think it was. I can't remember rightly, but anyway. So Friday night 9-ball's been around for certainly well over the 20 years now. But I've just gotten the feeling the way it's sort of died off these past months that we're due for a change one way or another, and the way it's been affecting me of a Friday night and trying to go to work the next day, that's become more of an issue for me. But I think it's time for a change. I don't know what that is, though. I hasten to add. I don't know what it is, but something needs to happen. But that is all in the lap of the gods, or in this case, as far as VP4 is concerned, Steve. It's all up to him what he decides he wants to do with his money, if he wants to do anything. But I think the only real success that he's had with this is the fact that he's managed to develop another version of the game. He's managed to develop his own tournament system. He's managed to develop his own way of saving games and saving videos of matches. He's managed to do all of that technical stuff. What he hasn't managed is the business side of it in terms of drawing punters in. He hasn't managed to sell the game in that respect. That's a fail. For this to really flourish, it would have to have the type of environment which brought people into the place. I keep harking back to giving people what they want. They don't have that. They don't have the game the way they want it necessarily. But some other people are giving people what they want, and they have decided that's what they want by going there and not coming here or leaving here over the years. Well, Stefan might have just blown a gasket there. Where's a 6 ball going? Well, it's going to go far enough. Stefan with a 2-1 lead, remember, race to 4, and he's given Larry a lifeline. He could have had Larry on the brink there by getting to the hill, but he's given Larry the chance to get right back in it, which he should do if this doesn't go too far inside the 7, and that's fine. I think when I mean, VP4 was certainly in development before GameSpy finished. We know that. And we know that GameSpy was going down the pan. So, games take a long time to develop. That's certainly one thing I've appreciated over the years. And we heard that we were going to have our own website. It was going to be online. And then we got confused when we heard there was going to be 2 versions of the game. There was going to be an online version and an offline version. What we paid for here, we were asking at the time. Well, I mean, the other big question we asked at the time that we wanted was the game to have LAN built into it, so that we could play one another if the place went pear-shaped. But that was never that again was never in the plan from Steve. And we had all those suggestions on the Solaris forum. All of those suggestions are all still there. Nobody reads them. In fact, I haven't been to clean out the Solaris forum for quite a while. There's found to be hundreds of bots on there again. But we had a post on the Solaris forum about features that we wanted in VP4, and that was well used at the time. And even that forum has died a death because it's become isolated. It was never ever, the forum was never ever linked into the online game here, which I think if it had been right at the start, then you would have had a sort of core place to leave your opinions or questions or whatever, but it doesn't happen. It was never introduced into the game here, and it's just lying there dormant, full of bots and spam. And it used to get well used back in the day. Well, Larry's got a wee testy one here. I mean, this is, he's got to watch the cue ball. Well, we were all imagining it was going to be a big success. We were going to have hundreds online, and it just didn't happen. But you've got to appreciate the fact that this is as designed as a sort of proper simulation on a computer. This is what it's designed as, this game. And unless you have any sort of inclination and interest in pool or billiards of any description, this game would never appeal to you in the first place. So it's a very niche game. And them that play it, a lot of them that play this game are well long in the tooth, shall we say, and been around since the very start. And it's always been a game that they've come back to. There was nothing online at the time that VP3 started that was there to challenge Virtual Pool. There was nothing. There were some games, but they were awful. They were very poor alternatives to this. Well, nobody's forced into a subscription. You know, if you come in as gratis, you get to play on a crappy table. You get to play, what is it, 9-ball or 8-ball? I don't know what you're limited to, but you certainly can't play snooker or anything like that. But I mean, there are some days in the lobby, and I've been making a note of that. I've been looking around when I've come in here. There are some days, the evenings here, where sometimes the majority of people that are playing are all gratis. You look at all those sort of dark grey names that are in the lobby. There's a big chunk of them, and they're all quite happy just playing what they're allowed to play. And that's fine. At least they're here. At least they've chosen to be here. But if you're going to have a game and have a business plan, you have to have some means of income. I mean, I still think $10 for a year is ridiculously cheap for this game. You think of what they want for some of these space games for, what do you call that bloody game? That one that's had hundreds of millions invested in it, that space game. Star Citizen. You know, you think about what they want for that and the price of actually buying spaceships and all of that crap. That has just gone from one extreme to the other. If you think about iRacing, there's a simulation game, a driving game, where they want to attract the right people. Now, what they're attracting is serious gamers, where they're quite happy to pay the subscription fees involved because they're taking up a particular line of racing, a particular type of racing car, because I think there's loads of choices of what you can do there, and also the type of tracks that you can get. So those guys are serious gamers that play that game. You don't get many numpties going into that for any length of time because of the prices that they want. And the guys that are set up to play online in that game are all rigged up with very expensive steering wheels and all sorts, and pedal sets and stuff. So their guys are taking it seriously. So there's places like that where they want to keep the riffraff out. And they do that by making it difficult for people who are on a very minimum budget to play, because they don't have the proper equipment either to be competitive. I mean, you're never going to win many races with a gamepad playing iRacing, I'll tell you that straight away. Anyway, Larry has survived in a final rat decider against Stefan. Stefan did well getting into the money. I think he's got into the money. He's come out with $195, so he's come out with a profit. So it's a successful week for Stefan. But now Larry's going to have to face his nemesis again. He's going to have to try and get revenge. Spectre Don Dunham 7 racks to 4. And now at 23 minutes past 9 on this last Friday night 9-ball for VP4TV, we've got the final, Spectre Don and Larry, and it'll be the same handicap. Larry will be getting, what, last 2 or whatever it was? What the hell was he getting? I can't remember now. But anyway, here we go. Larry's already in and keen to get underway. I'm going to have a quick drink. I will mute my mic. Right, so any Friday night 9 balls in the not too distant future will be covered by One Pocket Slim as and when he's available, or anyone else that's available. Jump in there, get going. Now this needs to stay away from the 8 ball. I'm getting excited and I'm only watching Larry warming up. So here we go. We've got Spectre Dawn on the right, Larry on the left, lag for the break. And Larry was getting the 7 ball, he wasn't getting last 2. Well, that's a terrible lag there from Spectre Dawn. So Larry's getting first opportunity. And Larry has been breaking like this for 20 odd years. He has never changed. That's the way he'd been doing it all the time he was in VP3 and all the time he's in VP4. He draws the cue ball back to the bottom cushion of the bottom rail, back into the table. Not the 1 ball, 6 ball has gone. It's going to have to be the one. Is that the 4 ball up there? The 1-4 combo. 1 ball stays on the table. Oh, this is going to be tough. This is right in the pocket, this 1 ball. Well, I'll tell you something. Good luck getting the cue ball out of there and getting good in the 2, because this is probably one of the hardest things to judge. It is so difficult to judge the control of this cue ball out of that pocket. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, it just needed to really run another 4 or 5 inches up the table, but that's better than nothing at all. Now, I wonder if there's anybody out there old enough to remember a program that I used to watch when I was definitely at the school at the time. I think it was definitely I was definitely at secondary school, and this is a program, if you remember, it was called The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Does anybody remember that? This was an American program. It was obviously made in the States, and it was shipped over here back in the 80s, and that's when it was probably made, maybe the very late 70s if it was, but it was here in the early 80s, I think. Or I could be slightly wrong, but anyway, I think I watched every episode of that when it was ever shown over here, and it had Huckleberry Finn was in it, and his mate was Jim the slave, and you had Tom Sawyer in it, and there must have been. It seemed as if there was endless amount of episodes of it, but maybe when I was younger, it just seemed that there was loads of episodes of it. Well, anyway. There's a channel on Freeview right up at number 95, which I stumbled across the other day, and lo and behold, guess what was on it? Huckleberry Finn and Friends. Talk about nostalgia. I think it was on in the morning. I think I sat and watched it, and I hadn't seen it for more than 20 odd years, maybe nearly 30 years, I think. Yes, Huckleberry Finn and Friends. Do 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 do. That was the song they were singing at the beginning of it. I can't remember the words of it, but I just remember the song that I heard the other day. Yeah, it was actually quite good. It was shown at around about, I don't know, maybe about 5 at night. It was part of the kids program on TV over here when they showed it. I enjoyed it. It was good. So that was a bit of nostalgia for me the other day when I discovered that they were actually showing it on this sort of. I think it's. I'll tell you what the channel's called. It's called Rewind TV. I think it is. So it does. It shows a lot of old stuff that you haven't seen for donkey's years, and that's just one of the series that's actually on it. But again, this is just showing you what my TV viewing habits like. I don't actively sit down and watch television. The television only ever gets switched on when I'm either eating or drinking in front of it. Then it's all old stuff that I watch. There's dramas and stuff and documentaries that are on, all new stuff, but I don't watch any of it. I've completely lost interest in television. And I think I blame YouTube for that. And I think that's why people's viewing habits have changed, because of not just so much the social media, but things like Twitch and Facebook. Especially if you've been a gamer, if you grew up during the beginning of gaming, really, in arcades and stuff. And I'm exactly of that generation. I grew up going to arcades when they first really appeared in this country, and being an active gamer, the pool hall was upstairs, the arcade was downstairs in the first place I used to go to, and that was it of a Friday night. But all of that has changed because of the advance in technology and all of those 30 and 40 years that have gone by. Everybody that's into gaming's got that all set up at home now. The whole family can get involved. You've got powerful games consoles. Computers have jumped on leaps and bounds. The games have done likewise with all the new technology and graphics cards that are available. So, and this was in an arcade that used to have nothing. All it had was 5 Space Invaders machines. That's all it had, and some what we call one-armed bandits, but gaming, gambling machines. It had 5 Space Invader machines, nothing else, and yet people were queued around it on a Friday. Every day, the weekend was there, and there'd be money stacked up on the machine. Everybody waiting to have a turn on these Space Invader machines, which were brand new. And now arcades have died a death because the arcade is now in front of your television or in front of your PC. Watch the cue ball. And game arcades were a big thing at one time. They might well still be popular in Japan. Japan's a kind of crazy country. I mean, first of all, the Japanese have got the craziest games that you'll ever see. So I think they probably still are in the habit of going to arcades and stuff. I don't know. We'd need somebody from Japan to come on here and tell us that. But certainly over here, there is no gaming arcade in my town anymore. And I think pretty much all of them have died. There might be, I'm guessing there might be the odd 1 or 2 down still in London. Maybe some of the bigger cities where where there is a passing population that can get the use of them. But I just think they're all pretty much gone, and they were so popular at one time. Well, Spectre Don takes the lead. Looking to get this break working, as usual. I must admit, at one point, I could have started live streaming a lot earlier. The problem is the live stream would have been a lot crapper than this for a number of reasons. First of all, the internet connections were crap. and secondly, well, it wouldn't have been so much live streaming when I think about it. It would have been probably just uploading videos, because there wasn't really any great live streaming software around at the time when it was really recording, and Fraps was it. Fraps was a thing I tried, but the file sizes were huge, and you had to then get another bit of software to compress the files and shrink them down. There was too much crap you had to do. Now everything's moved on leaps and bounds as far as that goes. Well, there's a mistake there from Spectre. And you think of how that technology's advanced as well. Now live streaming couldn't be simpler. You don't even have to spend any money. All you need to do is have a half decent headset and a mic, and then the software that you need is available free online. Couldn't be any easier that way. Well, it's no gimme, this 6 ball, but he's going to bump the 8 and he'll be on the 7. And the 8's gone in. And how tight's the 9 ball? The 9 ball is fine. Well, yeah, it's off the rail. In fact, he didn't need the 9 ball because I've forgotten he only needed the 7 ball. I'm definitely going downhill again. Well, Larry's break. Dry again. Inspector Don's looking around where to push. Well, now, what would I do here in this situation? Well, I would look to bank that 1 towards the 7 and send a cue ball over behind the 6. Use that line, because there's not much other alternatives on here, but that'd be one shot. Use the 7 ball to hold the 1. Because if he's going that way, he's trying to go through the gap with the 6 and the 8. And then you've got to hope the 1 doesn't go in. And then the other problem is he hasn't got cover with the 6. I prefer my shot better, because at least the cue ball wasn't having to travel quite as far, I don't think. And you had a line to go through there to come up by the 6. Anyway, whatever Larry's chosen, it's not really what. But Spectre Don's going to have to take his medicine here. Well, he's tried to get a lot of draw into that to go into the 2, and he's done it, but doing what he did, sent the cue ball offline, missed the 1 ball by a country mile. You know, when you start doing stuff with the cue ball, you're then making the initial shot more difficult when you're squirting the cue ball around, and you've got to make that allowance for it. That's the trick with this game, is making allowances for that squirting of the cue ball when you're starting to tweak it to get the cue ball going in a direction for you for the next ball. So Larry's been given that lifeline. He's got a good table and got no excuse for not getting out here. You see, even that shot was poorly played, because there's no way he should have been up there. He should have been here on this 5 ball, and he knows it. And right, he's got loads of room to go on the 6, but he's making his life a lot more difficult. Loads of right English there. Now he's a bit too straight in the 6, and he'll probably end up playing this 7 ball long, going behind it. Yeah, and he only needs a 7, which I've managed to remember this time. So Larry administers the punishment, but what he needs now is he needs to get that gap, needs to get that safety net, and he doesn't need dry breaks, which is what he's got. Inspector Don I think, has a shot. Well, he's sort of right on the borderline here, isn't he? This is dodgy. Well, it's a dodgy cut in the side because it's well beyond the 50-yard line for it to cut that in the side. But I think it goes. And he's having to avoid the scratch and managed to drag the pace off the cue ball. And he's going to have to deal with a dodgy 2-ball as well. But if he gets anywhere out into the table off the 2, he's on the 3, no problem. But this is tough. Yeah, that was never ever going to be easy, that shot. So again, whatever way you look at it, it's a chance for Larry here. He's got to kill this rack and get that gap going. And again, you ask yourself, well, where is this going to go wrong? Because it's all about cue ball. He doesn't have to move anything. He just has to avoid running into stuff that he shouldn't be running into. I've got an itchy nose again. Right, so get yourself a comfortable angle in this 6 where really the comfortable angle is just to sort of spin off this, just drag off it. That's what he's doing, just to drag down. Well, he's sort of bottled out in that a bit there, Larry, because if he'd played it right, he would have ended up there. He sort of choked in that a wee bit. And now he's ended up in no man's land. You see what I mean? If he'd played well, tell a lie, I forgot about the 7-ball again. I forgot about the handicap. Oh, it's definitely bedtime. And more proof, if you ever need it, as to why this is no good for me. Because even though I'm not at work this week, I've still been woken at 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, it's usually going to the bathroom and then back to bed, and then I'm up about 5:45. That's how it's been all week, but the body clock has been ingrained into me that when it gets this time of night, the brain is saying get to bed. The body wants to stay awake, but the brain leaves the house, I'm afraid. And it becomes more of a struggle to keep concentration. And the nose is gone again. This is getting disgusting, this. I wish I knew what the hell it was. Is it static building up my head? What the hell is it? Right, so... Well, okay so far. Larry's got one more little draggy. Let me have a look at the angle he's got here. Yeah, this is a bit too thin of a cut to actually try and play this sort of dragginess bit on it. He's trying to do it, I think. Is he going to go 2 rails? Or is he trying to just nip this? Oh, he's got to get there, and that's well played. Pace is perfect. Well, the goal has been achieved. He has now got the gap. And now the other part of the objective is to keep that gap and open it up even further. And try and exact revenge on Spectre Don. This looks dry. And what's more, look at the cue ball, look at the 1-ball. So we'll give Spectre Don the 1 and the 2. I think that 4-ball is too tight, where you could punch the 4 and hook Larry behind that 9. I don't think there's enough room to do that, because you'd have to be perfect in the 4, and I think there's no room at all. So Spectre Don is too straight in the 3. He might be able to. Well, in fact, he's decided he's going to duck for cover. He couldn't do it. He was too straight. And this is not the best position to be in. I mean, the best he's going to do is come over here. He's not going to get away from this 4-ball. Because if he hits it too hard, he's just opening it up. He's trying to use the 8. Yeah, not easy. Well, this will be dangerous for Larry because he's going to try and do the same thing, I think, and use that 9 as a stopper and come back behind the 8. But he's got to watch for the scratch, though. This makes it tricky. Or is he going all out for the bank? Because the bank is on. He looks as if he's lining up for the bank. Commentator's eye said he's going all out for it. Yeah. Well, he might be wishing now he'd played the safety because that was all or nothing with a 5-2 lead. And again, what you don't want to do is give any sniff of encouragement for your opponent. And that's what Larry's just done there. I think he'd have been better off just trying to duck and bide his time. And he might pay the price for that now. Well, the only way this will go wrong is if he overhits it and scratches in the left-hand side pocket, but he should... he's left himself well short of that. It just means he's got to do that wee bit more work with the cue ball, though. See, if he'd ended up in the rail dead straight in that 7, he could have drew up to the 9. You see, that's why he's left himself short. And that's why at the end of it, he's missed the 7. And it's a complete gift for Larry for 6-2. I don't see anything heading to a pocket here. The 3 ball thought about it. The 1 ball is a thin cut. I think it's a thin cut. Let's have a look. Oh, no, very thin. In fact, far too thin. And, well, Larry's looking if he's lining up the jump. This is a bit too close for comfort, this attempt to jump. Can he keep the cue ball on the table? Yes, he can. And the 3 balls going in and the 1 ball set up. Well, this will be a good shot. I think he's just going to dink this and leave a dodgy cut in the 2. I don't think there's much else he can do. Just stop that cue ball there, see the 2 and pot it. No, he's trying to get out. Well, he might have been better to take my option because he's ended up no man's land. I think there was nothing to stop him leaving himself there, potting the 2 and maybe spinning off the rail out for the 4. And I've got an itchy nose again. Well, that's a good recovery shot. Very good recovery. Well, right now, he's in line. He's in line to blitz Spectre down here in this revenge match. Well, the only way this will go wrong is if he's a proper numpty and he hooks himself behind the 8. Then he would be a proper numpty doing that. I see there was a thing in the news. Oh, he's overcut the 5. Oh dear. Oh, is he getting away with it? He might be. I heard something on the news today that I think it was a police officer took some. I only heard a little glimpse of it. Something about taking somebody to court or whatever because they called him a numpty. You've got to laugh. Oh dear. I'm sure he was in the police. I don't mean with Sting or anybody like that. The actual police force, and was getting somebody charged because they called him an umpty. Oh dear. Well, Larry sort of got off the hook there. And a good pot in the 5. Cue ball's tracking reasonably good. Well, 1 good pot and 1 good weight in this cue ball up for that 7. And you really should be home and dry this rack. So, a final reminder that we have the final of the 10 ball and the 10 footer, and that goes ahead on Sunday afternoon, I think at 3 p.m. GMT, and I will be home. It'll be a bit of a rush to get fed, but I will be there for it, for the match between Cobra and Interchange X. Race to 21, so it'll certainly be a couple of hours at least. And then there's that match with Bedhead and Interchange X in the straight pool on Tuesday evening, Greenwich Mean Time. It's 2300 hours, and One Pocket Slim should hopefully be there for that one. Oh dear, Spectre Dons fell into the trap, trying to use the jaw and the rail to get out of there off the one ball, and he's went right around the corner and missed the one. Well, that could be a fatal one, because Larry needs one good shot to get out onto this two. Now that needs to brush off the three like that, or he would have probably no shot at all. Well, this is a toughie. Look at where the three ball is and look at where the two is. Good luck with getting a shot in this. I think he might just have to take his medicine, get out to here and leave a Bedhead cutting that three ball. I don't think he should try anything else yet. Common sense has prevailed. He's not interfered with the 8 ball. And that 3 ball is off the rail enough to get that cut working. Now, he's going to trifle with this bottom left-hand corner pocket here. He's managed to go inside. Is it going to run? Is it going to run? Oh, perfect. He's perfect. Well, Larry, all he needs another couple of good shots. Get onto this 7 ball and you're on the hill. Well, again, the angle's there coming down the short side of the 7. That's one option. If he got it wrong and overhit it, he could hook himself behind the 8. He can go that way and come this way. Well, he's coming down the short side. He's staying well away from the 8 ball, but he's leaving himself that wee bit more of a dodgy cut. But this to get to the hill. And we are, what, 8 minutes short of 3 hours? So Larry breaking for the match, and revenge will be complete. 8 ball has gone in, something went into the side, it might have been the 6. He's got a shot in the 1. Well, this is the type of break you want when you're on the hill. Couple of balls have gone in, shot in the 1, angle to get out onto the 2, and pockets available for the 2. So this really is it. This is it for the match. One good shot and get on that 2. Oh, he's got there. He's got a lucky bump. Lucky little roll. And he can just nip back off this 2. I don't think he needs to run up the table. He can just nip this in and finish somewhere like over there. Something like that. Well, it's all over, folks, isn't it? Where can this go wrong? This would be a complete failure if Larry lost this match from this position. So he needs to get up onto the 5, back down for the 7, and it's all over. And it will be all over for VP4TV and Friday Night 9 Ball. And that looks good, as long as he's not straight and nailed to the rail. And he's straight and nailed to the rail. So this is roll through as far as you dare, or you start jacking up and doing crazy stuff. But just leave the long cut in the 7. Just roll through as far as you dare without scratching, and that's good enough. So this for the match. Well done to Larry. He gets revenge by 9 racks to 2, and he will be the defending champion next week. Maybe even Coldest Pillow will think to get in there and try and regain it. So Spectre Don a little bit peeved at the handicap, but that's what happens. At the end of the day, you know, I don't think that makes a great deal of difference, because 9 times out of 10, if Larry gets the 7 ball, he's getting the 8 and the 9 to follow anyway, so I don't think it makes a jot of difference. So well done to Larry. Thanks to those who bothered to come in watching tonight. Keep an eye out for Friday Night 9 Ball next week. See if Slim's around. Go and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already done so. You just need to go to Twitch and type in One Pocket Slim in the search, and it'll show him up, and just subscribe to his channel, and any future Friday Night 9 Balls will be on his Twitch channel. Don't forget to join us for that match on Sunday. I'll be there, and Slim catching that match on Tuesday. There may well be another, a match might appear on Monday in this straight pools. You've got to keep an eye out on the schedule. But until then, I will bid you good night, and we'll see you again soon, no doubt, in the future. Take care, and see you later, folks.